shit is popping, girl. Body on 10, damn, you got it, girl. You gotta boss up. Getting them checks, living your best. Racks up. Oh, keep walking with confidence. Effortlessly, you let them know who is in command. You just that and more. Don't forget it. God worked hard on you for sure. Lexus, Exodus. Shout out to my exes.
Y'all black females out here, y'all don't understand the struggles of being a black man out here in America and not knowing whether or not you gonna make it home to your children every night because of the police gunning you down.
But don't y'all be out here gunning each other now?
Okay, but we ain't talking about that.
Hell, don't y'all be rapping about killing each other in music?
We ain't talking about that either. We can talk about killing each other in rap music, but we don't like the police killing us. Stay on subject, woman.
You brought up your kids. Tyrone, you don't even see your kids.
And then, yeah, I be trying to see my kids. You know my baby mamas be tripping because I don't want to be with none of them, so they be holding my kids from me. You know that.
Okay, but your baby mama saying you don't give them no child support either.
Okay, but I still be going out my way to try to see them.
They live 5 minutes from my house, Tyrone.
That is out my way, woman. See, y'all, that's why we don't like y'all black women's mouths. Y'all run y'all mouth too much. Y'all always bringing up stuff that's irrelevant.
Well, was you cheating on me irrelevant?
I only cheated on you 10 times. You act like I do it every day, bruh. See, that's why we date women of other races, man.
Hey, boos, hey. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Women Exodus. How are y'all doing? And like always, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. Please share. Please comment in the comment section. Let me know that you're listening. Also, if you enjoy listening to my content on the go, the show is now available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for audio listeners. Go check out my Patreon community where you can get access to bonus episodes and exclusive content and also a private community of like-minded divested women. It is linked below. Please also follow me on social media platforms. You can check me out everywhere on all platforms at Lexus Exodus. You can find all of this information in the description below. This is another installment of my series called the Blackistan Zoo, where we profile the dusty derelicts, crazy creatures, and animals in Blackistan. Tonight, I want to talk about dead weight. And I was inspired to do this idea due to a suggestion by loyal patron Indigo Savage. Indigo writes, I saw a video where Black men were making fun of Black women for their eviction rates. This would be a good video topic. And she says this video explains how the pookies of the community are the community's downfall. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Specifically, we will talk about how Black males are dead weight within the community and how Black women are forced to be the heads of households and to obtain educations, cultivate careers, and to become extremely successful and secure wealth on their own, and how these accomplishments are often ruined because Black women refuse to divest, are fiercely race loyal, and will partner with dusties that lead to their economic demise. Okay? So to kick this off, I want to share the news clip that's going viral that Indigo is referring to in this suggestion. And it talks about how Black women are experiencing a housing crisis and how we are being evicted at very high rates since the pandemic. So let's watch this and then we will talk through.
Housing security in the U.S. since the pandemic is on track to become a crisis, and Black women are being affected the most by it. According to Eviction Lab, there were more than 434,000 evictions last year. So for some context to this, the eviction moratorium was in place for a large portion of the year, but the number of renters at risk of eviction as of January spiked to about 3 million and counting. And of those, Black women have the highest average of eviction filed against them at 6.2%, compared to white women at 3.4%. Now that equates to 1 in 4 Black renters living in a place where Black eviction filing rates were almost double than that of their white counterparts.
Okay. So this is going viral on TikTok. What's happening is the dusties have taken this news clip and they're running with it. They are gloating. They are having a heyday because of this clip. And we know that dusties don't compete with other men. There's no competition. So they compete with Black women like Lil Hoes. So they're on TikTok running amok, making reaction videos left and right to this news clip, acting like this is some gotcha moment for Black women. And I won't subject you guys to that nonsense. We're not going to look at real reactions. If you want to see those dusty, degenerate reactions, feel free to look it up on TikTok. But in a nutshell, what's happening is that the nogs are saying that this is some rude awakening, this aha, gotcha moment for modern women who are now experiencing high eviction rates because they've become too independent and their standards are too high for Whack males. Okay. So, Black women, we already know that this is bullish. So, Black women are online countering this problematic narrative on TikTok as well and are illustrating the real reason is because these dusties are dead weight. So, Black women are being evicted at higher rates simply because they are the leaders within the community and they are the only ones who can actually qualify to rent in the first place. Okay, so I want to share this next creator's clip who responds to this and whose clip I think captures my reaction to this news article perfectly.
Housing security in the U.S. since the pandemic is on track to become a crisis, and Black women are being affected the most by it.
Pookie's are tagging me in this post like it's not a simple explanation, which is y'all name are not on leases in order to get evicted. So of course you can't be included in this study. When your mama kick you out, Pookie, those numbers are not going to be included in this study. A lot of y'all are felons. You can't even lease nowhere, right? So a lot of y'all have Black women putting their name on leases just for you to be able to live there. Credit bad, can't pass the income verification. So you need Black women to put their name on the lease just so you can live there. And some of y'all live in these places that are being evicted with said Black women that you don't even help pay bills at. So you helped her get evicted, right? Let's really talk about the study if you want to talk about the study. Of course, white women's numbers will be lower because they actually got white men providing and helping them pay bills, if not paying all the bills. But Pookie, you're just somewhere living and freeloading and you don't have your name on a lease in order to get included in this study, Pookie.
Child. I love Dana Dane. A lot of you guys will ask me who that is in the intro clip that plays Tyrone. It's Dana Dane, this woman on TikTok, and she's absolutely hilarious. I encourage you to follow her. Her TikTok is Dana Dane 1987. She'd be like, I only cheated 9 times, bruh. You act like I do it every day. But anyway, she is speaking nothing but the truth in this clip. So the dusties gloating online about Black women experiencing the most evictions is absolutely ridiculous. It's like, I think these sentiments are trash and go hand in hand with when they try to denigrate Black women for having high student loan debt. It's like, well, you don't go to school, Tyrone. You're an 8th grade dropout. So of course you can't relate. Of course you don't have student loans. So in that same breath, you don't qualify to rent anywhere. So of course you're not going to experience high evictions. They won't approve you for an apartment. Do you get what I mean? Like, how you going to hate from outside the club and you can't even get in? Apartment complexes don't rent to felons. I've even heard that they don't rent to people who have certain arrest records. So even if they don't get convicted and they don't go to prison or go to jail, if you've been arrested for certain violent crimes, then I've heard that you can't get approved for an apartment. And I have a clean record, so I have no idea. But we know that statistically, nogs commit the most crimes. So statistically, they're not going to be able to rent in most places. And that's just the legal component. We haven't even talked about the financial aspect of things. So let's say that they do have clean records. These groups of dudes are also the least employed out of all groups of people. So a lot of places will require you to prove that you make at least 3 times the rent. You can't do that if you're unemployed, Dusty. Selling drugs and being a scammer and committing credit card fraud doesn't count either. So, and you know, they also notoriously have bad credit. So you can't get evicted because ain't nobody going to approve you to rent in the first place. So again, how can you degrade Black women for getting evicted when no one will lease to you in the first place? If I had a dime for every dude that I met back in Blackistan who was a hobosexual in my family and who I went to school with and acquaintances who never lived alone, who mooch off of the women in their lives, who go from their mother's house to their baby mother's house. I've seen many who live in a Section 8 apartment, shacking up with a woman that they're not legally supposed to be in the same home with. And as a matter of fact, and I talked about this before, I remember vividly being young and my mother's boyfriend at the time bragging about how he pays all the bills when they would get into it. I pay all the bills in here. And I really believed him back then. I was so young, I didn't understand it. But in hindsight, what was happening is my mother was on Section 8. So this nignog was bragging about paying a $10 light bill, a $20 water bill that was subsidized because we qualified for Section 8 and then also subsidized utilities as well with his bum ass. So what was happening is my mother's voucher was handling the bulk of the bills. But that's what they do. Some of these dudes who actually have apartments and who are able to afford them, they have them in their mother's name and in their sister's name and in other women's names because they can't get approved. Their credit is bad and they're just dead weight. Again, how you going to hate from outside the club? How you going to denigrate Black women for experiencing evictions when you can't even qualify to rent in the first place? Make it make sense. Okay, I want to look at this next woman who also verbalizes this so perfectly.
There's a study going around that highlights the statistics of how many Black people get evicted from their apartments. And out of those numbers, it shows that Black women get evicted more than Black men by 36%. What behooves me are the many TikTok videos and Instagram videos that I see of Black men, specifically toxic, narcissistic, like the dusties, okay? They're making videos laughing and smearing Black women due to these statistics of us getting evicted more than Black men. So I want to address the dusties that got so much mother to say about us being evicted more. I'm going to clear y'all out real quick. Number one, Black men don't put their names on shit. Y'all don't put y'all mother names on leases or nothing. You're so busy leeching off of a woman. Everything goes on the woman's name and you lay up on her. You eat her food up. You run her bills up. You don't provide. You don't pay your motherfucking child support. So she's stuck with everything. She's carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. And after you have drained her and depleted her of all her resources and finances and ate her out of a house and home, you bounce with your side chick or you run back home to your mama. That's why the mother statistics show women getting evicted more than black men, Black women, Black men. Because y'all don't put y'all names on shit. Your credit's fucked up. First of all, you can't get shit in your name. Don't nobody want you moving into their neighborhoods. So, yeah, your name, naturally, your name is not going to be on the lease. It's always in the Black woman's name. You put your car in your mama's name or your baby mama's name. You laid up at your baby mama's house, and when your baby mama kick your ass out, you run back home to your mama. Or you try to target successful Black women that got their lives together, own their homes and cars and shit. You move in with her, and you take her money and blow it on your side chick or your side dude, because some of y'all is in the closet, by the way. And you tear her finances up and you destroy her credit. Then you bounce and you move on with your side chick. So stop making jokes about the Black woman getting evicted when the root of the cause is the fact that we're out here trying to help you lowlifes build. We try to lift and build y'all up and y'all tear us down and move on with the next woman just to repeat the cycle with the next woman. And for most of y'all that were raised by a single mother, ask your mama what happened to your daddy and why did he leave y'all like that. Watch what you say.
Come through, Auntie. Auntie said a word. I'm going to have to edit the heck out of that clip because she was cussing them out. But bingo. This woman hit the nail right on the mother effing head. So Black women aren't experiencing high eviction rates because winter is coming and we are failing financially and are experiencing this rude awakening. That's not what's happening. It's quite the contrary. What's happening is Black women are forced to lead households because we have no choice. Black men offer nothing. They are dead weight. So we have to wear the pants and the panties, and we got to do every damn thing on our own because nignogs have nothing to offer. And because Black women tend to be fiercely race loyal, they'll continue to date these broke bums and drag them along for the ride. And since we are indoctrinated to ride or die and to be fiercely loyal to the world's least successful group of men, we allow them to be dead weight. And while we're out working and hustling to provide, we're also forced to put everything in our names in these struggle relationships with these dudes. They're collectively the least employed, have the lowest net worths and the lowest credit scores. Black women will move them in. And as a result, since Black women have no support from these dudes, they'll partner with them. And once ish hits the fan, like what happened with the pandemic, Black women suffer the consequences. So Black men aren't experiencing high eviction rates because they don't qualify to rent anything in the first place. They are dead weight. And the woman they are with end up putting everything on the line. Since she's the one with the education and the credentials and the career and the credit, she'll suffer the consequences when ish hits the fan. Okay, so I want to shift gears and look at real-time examples that illustrate how Black women will allow dusties to be dead weight and to ruin them financially and economically, resulting in bad credit, evictions, bad rental history, and other things. And shout out again to Indigo, who shared this with me as well. Okay, so this thread says, the girls on TikTok said when y'all get apartments, y'all ruin the area because of y'all boyfriends, and it's so effing true. Okay, so this started a viral thread. So let's read some of the responses. So this dude responds to this and says, this girl moved into the apartment below me. And I noticed she had a whack boyfriend who was hugging all up on her like he didn't pay any rent. He beat her up their first week in that apartment and got arrested. After he got out of jail, he came back and busted her windows out. Ciao. This next person says, I had a roommate that moved her jobless baby daddy in. They fought constantly. He put a hole in the wall. And in return, she threw hot grease on him. Once they physically fought after arguing about who was going to donate plasma so they can buy weed. This is absolutely true. It gets worse, y'all. This woman says, I had a roommate move her jobless boyfriend in without telling or asking anybody. They fought nonstop, and she found out he secretly had 2 kids. Then she got him a job at her job, and he effed their coworker. Then she started trying to accuse me of wanting her very ugly bum boyfriend. He sat in our apartment doing nothing but smoking and leaving ashes in all my dishes for months. When I finally decided to leave, she told me she would only sign the release form for me to leave the lease if I let them move in with me. Jesus. And this girl says, and instead of getting jobs, they start breeding pit bulls. You can't make this stuff up. This last woman says, thinking of the time the police scared the heck out of me banging on my door at 2 a.m. because one of my neighbor's boyfriends had set her car on fire. Guess who was parked next to her and thus also had her car burnt up? Hint, me. It was me. Child. Do y'all see this mess? I mean, I rest my case. We don't need to keep going, although I have a plethora of examples that illustrate this. Do y'all see this, though? And these chicks wonder why don't nobody want to rent to Section 8. Even those Black women who do pay their own bills and don't rely on government assistance, people are reluctant to rent to them as well in their nice neighborhoods. Who wants to deal with this? Because a lot of Black women love to bring along these dusty broke, violent degenerates who ruined the whole damn neighborhood. And I remember way back when, years ago, when I was with my son's father, and we were looking for houses to rent. And I found this listing that I was interested with, and I asked him to call the guy. And he did, and a white man said, "I'm sorry, this place is no longer available." Child, why did I call back a few hours later once I got off? And he was like, "Oh, sure, when do you want to come see the property?" And I didn't understand it back then. I thought, oh, this is racism, but I do now. Because guess what happened in the house that we ended up being able to move into? The degenerate Dusty punched holes in a wall. He broke the back window out. Police was called all the damn time because his ass was erratic and violent. And that's the same thing that these people say happened in this thread. Like these dusties and these examples that I just shared are beating their girls' asses, destroying property, setting cars on fire in the damn parking lot. This woman said, "I didn't even know them, the Nick Nog. I wasn't even dating them. I just happened to be someone who got caught in the crossfire. And because my car was parked next to hers, the dusty set my car on fire as well." Like, don't nobody want to deal with that mess. Don't nobody want to deal with having those shenanigans happening in their rental properties that they work hard for, or in their communities that, you know, they want to be safe and comfortable in. Like, seriously. And in all of these instances, they talk about how the nigga was dead weight, unemployed, smoking weed all damn day, breeding pit bulls, y'all, while the women went out and worked. Just dead damn weight. Okay. So I want to keep going because I want to hear from a property manager who further illustrates how Black women will mess up their finances and their living circumstances and rental history, shacking up with these broke bums who are nothing but dead weight.
So, as a low-income property manager who's been working in low-income housing for majority of her career, let's be honest. We bring them in, we interview them, we screen them, we get their household demographics and their income. Of course, they're not reporting these people. Not just Pookie and them living with them. They got their cousin Lele and whoever else staying with them, and they're not reporting this to us. And then when we get word through the system that you got extra people living in your household because your neighbors been told on you because they sick of all that coming and going and traffic that you got going in and out your house, and you're getting these lease violations, you think we're just supposed to let everything slide. That's not going to happen. You already living in subsidized housing. You are getting a benefit that a lot of Americans don't get. But yet you want to take advantage of the system and try to take advantage of us as property managers. And when we do our job, oh, now we bitches and you want to report us to HUD and you want to report us to our companies. But we have a job to do. Your job is to pay the prorated portions of rent in which have been assigned to you, which typically is going to be little to nothing. Make sure that you report when you're supposed to report. We give you 10 days to report any changes in your demographics, the same way as food stamps and anybody else. You get 10 days to tell us somebody moved in, moved out. Report it. That's the easiest thing to do. But when you don't, and now you're getting put out, so now we filed eviction on you, and on top of you getting lease violated, and you also having limited income, now you got an eviction on your record, and don't nobody want to rent to you. And once you got an eviction in HUD housing, you are a pariah. Nobody's going to really want to rent to you. Nobody's going to take a chance on you. And if you have a balance, you're not going to get a Section 8 voucher. You can't go stay in HUD housing anywhere else. So if you are allowing people to live in your home and you're not doing what you're supposed to do and being held accountable, we're going to have to hold you accountable. I'm sorry. Now, if you are doing what you're supposed to do and you're reporting and you're still struggling, there are agencies that you can go to that'll help. There's agencies in Georgia. I know you can go online to Google the Georgia website for Georgia Housing Assistance. And in South Carolina, contact SC State Plus. They are giving out money left and right if you're struggling. But if don't nobody know that you're struggling, but you got all this extra stuff going on in your household, how you expect us to keep you as a tenant? You're not making us want to help you. And that's our job, to help you. That's what we're trying to do.
What did I say, y'all? What did I say? And again, I'm not saying this from the outside looking in. I saw this firsthand growing up. My late mother, God bless her soul, she did this. And she lived in Section 8 housing all of my childhood and had the nerve to move a nigga in. And every time there was an inspection, she telling him to leave and hiding his shoes and his belongings and itch. Black women will also get on food stamps and will lie about not knowing the father of their children so they can get assistance in medical insurance. And you know why they do that? Because then the government will say, well, if you know who the father of this child is, the father needs to be held accountable and we need to put him on child support since you come into the government asking for handouts. But they don't want to do that. They rather let the nog get off scot-free while her and her children rely on government assistance to take care of themselves. And my thing is, if you want government assistance and you on Section 8, you single, girl. Because I'll be damned if I got to rely on another mother effer to feed and house myself and my children. And I'm still laying up with a man, fixing my mouth to say I got a boyfriend. Like, seriously? No, mother effer, I'm single. And if anything, Zaddy, that's my man, White Zaddy, the one who's putting food in my belly and who is paying the bills and putting a roof over my head. Child. But Black women love carrying this dead weight along with them. And we are ending up evicted and homeless and economically ruined at astronomical rates as a result of this. Okay, I want to keep going and I want to listen to a landlord's perspective on this. So this next woman discusses how she'll intentionally avoid renting to Section 8 renters going forward because these women going to bring the nog with this to ruin every damn thing. Child, so let's watch this and then we will talk through.
3-minute warning, and this video is for informational purposes, not to bully and harass. However, let's get into it. I keep seeing these posts about landlords not renting to Section 8. I'm going to throw my 2 cents in. I can get up to $1,000 more a month rent on my rental property than I'm getting. However, I talked my husband into, in the, interest of, we're coming out of a pandemic. We thought there was a recession coming. Let's reach back. We're educated Black folks. We both come from nothing. We know what it's like to struggle. Let's reach back and rent our rental property to a young family of color who have a housing voucher. Okay. I have no problem with the girl who has the voucher. And that's always the case. It's the little dude she has with her. Okay. Now his name ain't on nothing. Okay. As usual. He done moved these dogs into my house. These dogs have stank up my basement. And I mean reek. You can smell it from the top of the stairs. I have a dog. Y'all know that. You can't smell my dog in the house. And I mean, it's horrible. Horrible. Now, because of this experience, I'm probably not going to rent to Section 8 again. And I'm ready to end her lease immediately. Like, the rental house is my retirement. Mine. Not my husband's, mine. Okay. I'm not making any money on the house. I'm getting good juju feelings, because I want to be a responsible part of society and definitely an auntie to the community and reach back. We lift as we climb. The problem is these little sons of folk who don't know how to treat other people's property, and the little girls who refuse to make these fools see that we all gonna be homeless if you can't follow rules. As much as I like this little girl, if this situation does not rectify, she's going to be out of a home by Thanksgiving, because I'm not playing about my property. And yet another landlord who meant well will no longer open up a decent home to someone with a housing voucher. That's real talk. That's how it happens.
Y'all hear this woman? They dead weight, y'all. Dead weight. And I feel bad for this woman because, like she said, she had great intentions. She simply wanted to reach back. She said, we uplift others as we climb. That is incredible. That's commendable. I believe that as well when it comes to Black women and girls, And I don't care how far removed I am from the community. I'll never be so far removed that I just say F other Black women and girls. I can't. I love Black women too much. I am a Black woman. In fact, that's the purpose of this channel, is to teach Black women and girls some of the things that I wish I would have known growing up. But anyway, you have to be careful, even with that type of intention, because then things like this happen. So she attempted to help this Black woman. And in response, that lady allowed her man in, who brought in a bunch of damn pit bulls, I bet. She says dogs, but I bet you they was them nasty ass vicious pit bulls. And now he's ruining the property with these animals. I swear it's a different nigga, same dust in all these damn stories. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Different dude, same dust. It's like, first off, though, you on Section 8, you're not supposed to have a dusty living with you in the first place. So this woman could have evicted the tenant based solely off of that. You're not supposed to have him in there. But then to add insult to injury, he's ruining her property on top of that. And sis said, this is my retirement. I can't play with my livelihood. And now this girl is going to get evicted and be homeless by Thanksgiving. And I ain't even mad at the landlord. Listen, y'all, Black men are dead weight. So while they are gloating online about Black women being evicted at very high rates, the reality is this is a direct result of their failures. They statistically are the most unemployed. They have the lowest credit scores and the least net worths. So Black women are being forced to financially handle everything. And when ish hits the fan, like a pandemic, like a health crisis, like a layoff, like another financial emergency, Black women are becoming crippled financially and are bearing the brunt of everything economically alone, all because we refuse to divest from the nogs and to partner with better men. Y'all, divest from this nonsense. All right. That's all I got. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.
Even if you think I should, bitch, bigger, I don't give.
If y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.